Hi everybody, and welcome to Art with Miss Maggie. I'm super stoked because it is part 3 of our Basquiat inspired portrait. So last class we ended with our final drawn out portrait. We completed all of the drawing with pencil and then we began to outline with marker. And what I'm going to show you next is to take this piece and create some vibrant color, some nice graffiti backgrounds. So this is kind of like my final composition and portrait that I created. I could probably go back in and maybe color some symbols, but we're eventually going to get to this product by the end of this lesson. So just as a reminder of where we're heading towards the end of the lesson, this will be our final piece, but we're all starting at this point together. So some materials that you might need for today or you might want to go grab. I have some materials next to me, just some basic, honestly some pretty busted materials, but you don't need to have the best materials to create a piece of artwork. You can just grab whatever's lying around. And what I happened to grab were some nice colorful crayons, obviously been used before, and then some maybe like 4-year-old oil pastels. Pretty banged up shape, but it still gets the job done. So that's what I'm going to use today for our coloring portion. You also will want to have a black marker or black pen so we can add some text and notes and symbols in the background that were inspired by Basquiat's kind of scriptures in the back of his work. So that's actually where we're going to start today. And showing an example of my finished product, what I did in my background is I randomly took numbers that represented something or had meaning to me, different words that stood out to me, some song lyrics, and I didn't have any rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of drew my symbols and my words and my lyrics in random places of the background around my portrait. And let's get started, okay? So I'm gonna grab my paper. I might start off with maybe a song lyric. Let's think of a song that I listened to this morning. I do like Summer Walker, so maybe I'll write the words "Let It Go" because I do like that song by her, and maybe I'll go ahead and repeat that lyric a few times to kind of fill up some space. You can draw lighter, you can write bigger if you want, you can even go for like some block letters. So maybe I'll just stop there. And then maybe I'll write the name of like my pet on here because that's something that's pretty significant to me. I have a Siamese cat named Tony, and he's like the love of my life, like my child. So I might add that word in there. And this part of our script in the background, you can be as creative, as random as you please. I might even throw some symbols in of maybe some hearts with some illustrative lines here. Sometimes I like to tie things together and make it more unified and kind of create those patterns throughout some spaces in my background. I'll write the number 26 because that was my hockey number, and it seems to be like a number that always pops up on the clock and it kind of like follows me around. Some might say like a lucky number. I might throw the number 26 over here just to fill some gaps. I could even do like some math over here. Again, it could be as random as you want, and the math doesn't even have to be correct because when it comes to your art, you make the rules. There doesn't have to be any rules, there doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of whatever comes to mind. Maybe I'll throw another crown in there. Maybe Maybe I'll write queen. And if you notice, I'm kind of writing most of mine in capital letters. That doesn't mean you have to write yours in capitals. Maybe I'll put a name of like a place that I've been or that I really like. I love traveling, so I put the word Myanmar, which is a Southeast Asian country that I like to visit. It's really important to me. Maybe I'll write Buffalo. Coming to mind. It's kind of just like doodling and writing notes. Maybe I'll write honesty. That means something to me. Again, I'm kind of filling in some gaps with some lines to keep everything kind of unified with the same pattern. I'm really taking up a lot of real estate here, and I have just a little bit left. Maybe I'll write hip hop. I love hip hop music. Maybe I'll write artist. So that's what I identify with. Alright, so I can take maybe one last double check and see if there's any spaces that I feel I might want to fill up with maybe a pattern or like another word or number. But again, there's no rhyme or reason, just some note-taking in here. And to reference back, I'll open up this book that we were looking at in episode 1. And you can see how kind of scattered and random Basquiat's thoughts were. So we're going to kind of emulate that same style in our background. So don't worry if things look chaotic, it's only going to add to the flavor of his style and this piece that we're making together. So now is the fun part that I love. This is adding color to our work. And again, I'm going to flip back into our visuals that we have from the illustrated book written by Maya Angelou and then painted by Jean-Michel Basquiat. And if we notice, or if we really look at the colors in here, a lot of them look like they've been sloppily applied, or there's been like many layers on top of one another. But again, that texture that he created, that chaotic layering